Hello and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at the 8th grade concept of ordering numbers. This is standard 8.2D in the great state of Texas, and we are using item number 30 off the 2016 released STAAR test. If you have not done so already, please go ahead and take a moment to pause the video, work this problem out on your own, unpause it, and we will look at our answers together. So we've got three groups. They're using different methods to estimate the diagonal length of a patio in feet. Here are our three results. We need to find these lists in order from greatest to least. The last two look okay, but look at this. 4 times the square root of 13. So unless we have a calculator, and if you do, it's going to be fairly easy to find. Let's see if we can figure out a good estimate of that 4 times the square root of 13. So that's really what it is. It's 4 times the square root of 13, right? Just like 4x would be 4 times x. So we just need to get a good estimate of the square root of 13. And that's going to help us. So let's do the square root of 13. All right, so how I estimate square roots is I try to find the square root below it. So the whole number below it is going to be the square root of 9, that makes 3. Square root above it is going to be the square root of 16, so that makes 4. So it's going to be 3 point something, because it's right in between. You take a look, this is a range of 7, and this is 4 away from 9 and 3 away from 16, so it's pretty close to the middle, but it's actually a little bit closer to the 4. Because it's 4 away from the 9, it's only 3 away from the 16. So I'm going to call it 3.6. Close enough. So we're going to say we need to do now 4 times 3.6. Remember, that's just our estimate. So let's see what that looks like. 3.6 times 4. So that's going to be 12. 14.44. All right, so we're going to say this is approximately 14.4. Now, if we wanted to test that with our calculator, we could, but that is just our estimate at this point. Let's see if we need to pull the calculator out. So this 14.2 2/5 is going to equal 14.2/5, right? Let's just multiply that by 2, and that's going to be 4/10. So that's 0.4. All right, so 14.4. And then we've got our 14.33, which is already in our decimal form. So it looks like our estimate is really not helping us that much. Just because if we tried to eyeball it, we are definitely going to get the exact same answer, and that doesn't help us. So let's pull out the calculator here. Let's see what the square root of 13 really is. And all right, so the square root of 13, it's an irrational number. It goes on forever and ever and ever. But let me just write down the first few digits for you here. 3.605. Remember, we do have access to a calculator on the 8th grade STAAR test. So if it's this close, I would definitely recommend pulling out the calculator. And it goes on and on and on, but at that point, it's just so tiny. So we're going to multiply this by 4. And so we were correct. So if we were to estimate it, this is actually about 14.42, and then it goes on to 205, and it goes on. So it's just barely a little bit larger. But since it's that close, I mean, this is just a 14.4, and this is obviously the smallest. But since it's that close, you definitely pull out that calculator, and you're just going to do, what I did is I did the square root of 13, and then I multiplied it by 4. If you want to plug it all in, you could do 4 times the square root of 13 and get the same answer. You just have to plug in the 4, the times, the square root button, and then the 13. Either way, it's going to be that one's going to be the largest. And then we're going to go down in order, so they actually give it to us in order. So our answer here is going to be J.